5 seconds. Sir, one of the arguments that was put forth was that the distribution system of power through the superthermal power stations was illogical. That is what one of the honorable members had put forth. In fact, it should not be said that I am not courteous to the lady member who had spoken. In fact, I must compliment her for the brilliant maiden speech that has been made this morning. But I am not merely on the point of the skill of the debate, but what happens you kindly consider now. Supposing power is to be supplied from the central project according to the deficit of the states, then I am sure the states will become mere parasites. I would not like to go into these details because it would be unfair. You do not expect me to answer every question that you will raise in a debate of this nature. Sir, it is not as though the central sector which exists in Bihar only consumes power. Quite a good bit of power is supplied by the central sector, so it is both ways. I am sure there is a quota for it. The position that I would rather prefer to put forth is that there is a formula. There is a formula that has been evolved. The whole country has been divided into various regions for this purpose. In fact, Royal Committee wanted that we should set up regional electricity boards. There was opposition from the states because the states think that their power would be slowly destroyed. Therefore, we are acting a little slow in the matter. Now, what had been happening? I must also explain my difficulty is one sector. Now, the formula that has been evolved is that the central power project, if it is located in a particular state, we provide straight away 10% electricity generated to that state, and then 75% is evacuated not only to the state in which this project is located but to all the states in the region. 15% of the electricity is kept with the center to release to the state in the region whichever is in sufferance. This is the formula that has been evolved. If this formula has got to be changed for those states which are deficit states, then the states would not take up the projects which they ought to do. And perhaps it would not be exaggeration for me to reassert that the states would become parasites over the central projects. It is precisely because of this reason that we have evolved this formula. In fact, I am facing one more difficulty which I must share with the house. I am having quite a lot of difficulty in the transmission of power that has to be evacuated from the central power projects. The Royal Committee has gone on record to say that the 220 kilowatts lines, which are crucial for the purpose of evacuation of power, should be taken over by the center, the management of those transmission lines. And in fact, we are going ahead with setting up the 400 kilowatts transmission lines at various places. Now, what had been happening is that the states which are subjected to a power shortage had certainly been trying to say it. You must control the transmission lines. But I am finding that quite a large number of states are not prepared to agree to allow the center to have the control of the 220 kV transmission lines. In fact, sometime back I had taken a meeting of all the power ministers in the northern zone and none agreed for the central control. I had to set up a committee of the chairmen of electricity boards to go into it and find a way out for the purpose of evacuation of power from the thermal power stations controlled by the center. I have taken this step so that the power could be evacuated without difficulty. Otherwise, if the transmission lines have also to be developed, the cost will be equal to the setting up of the thermal power station. I should explain this so that the position becomes a little clear. With kind regards, yours sincerely. Letter dated 25th September 2005 from the President, Fertilizer Consumers Association, West Main Street, Bombay, to the Secretary to the Government of Karnataka, Department of Agriculture, multi-storied building, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Road, Bangalore 9. Dear Sir, we experience short supply of fertilizers in the district, especially during the second crop season. The cooperative societies express their inability to help us in the matter. Whenever we inquire, they say that manufacturers are not in a position to send the supplies to them. Moreover, the small farmers are not able to get their required quantity of fertilizers on credit, as the big landlords are in a position to make on the spot payment and take delivery of the fertilizers in bulk quantities. There are instances where surplus quantity is available with big landlords, and small farmers have to even pay excess amount of money to get the fertilizers from the big landlords. Therefore, the association is very much concerned about the problems of the small farmers. We request the government to ensure that the fertilizer is supplied to the small farmers on a priority basis. It is needless to point out that unless timely supply of fertilizer is ensured, the yield will be affected and the small farmers will incur heavy loss in agriculture, which is their mainstay. They are not in a position to compete with the big landlords in the matter. This society is formed to cater to the needs of the small farmers whose holdings do not exceed 5 acres, and majority of our members belong to the scheduled caste and backward community. Therefore, we are confident that the government will do their best in ensuring prompt and timely supply of fertilizer to the cooperative societies and liberalize credit facilities. Hoping to hear from you at an early date, sir. Yours faithfully.